Hello, my name is Cindy, and thank you so much for coming to this video. This video is going to be a continuation of the zip up, zip down actually, from the top, from the hood back, and it's a zip up back baby sweater, otherwise known as the gnome baby sweater. And I am actually in the process of making a new one. I have some that are already made up, and I will share those photos with you. The first step, you are going to start with the hood, and this is knitted flat, and you knit the hood. Then when you get to the hood, you fold it in half like this, and then you're going to pick up stitches, and you're going to pick up stitches so that this part is on the inside of your sweater, and this is the front of the sweater, and this would be the neck. So when you get to this point, you're going to pick up 25. This is the smallest size, so it's 25 and then 4 and then 25. So this is the front of the sweater here. Then you're going to switch the needles. So if you have circular needles that have different sizes, you will just, trade the needles out. Or if you have like mine, I have Denise needles where I can just take the point off. There are other types of interchangeable needles also. So the next step that I'm on after the ribbing for the neck, I'm going to switch to the larger needles. So I'm using size 5 needles and size 9 for the bigger size. So here we go. And I'm just switching that out. And the next stage of this sweater is, I want to mention that you're going to start this next stage with the knitting side facing you, which would be the right side. So right now it's just like the opening of the hood is facing you. So this will be the right side of the hood. And then you're going to do the next stage, which is going to be starting the sweater itself. Okay, so I switched to the bigger needles, and takes a little bit to push the loops onto it. So the first row might be a little harder. The other thing is you can just knit it onto a bigger needle for your first row. That would work too. So I have my pattern on my phone in a Google Drive. So if you want this pattern, please let me know and I will send it to you. Baby sweater zip up back. When I'm doing the 6-month size, I believe it's 58, cast on 58. And then I am past the hood. I did the neckband, and now I'm working on the body. And I just typed in start the knit side facing. Row 1. Okay, now you're going to follow this pattern, because what you're going to do is you're going to make it so that the sleeve part is increases. Okay, so you're going to knit this part, and then every knitted row you're going to make one at the beginning of the sleeve and at the end of the sleeve. So you're actually going to, every knitted row, you're going to add 4 stitches. It says here, you're going to knit 7, increase in the next stitch, place a marker, increase in the next stitch, knit 6, increase in the next stitch, place the marker, then you're going to knit 20. So the 20 would be the front of the sweater, and then you're going to knit 6. Knit 20, then place a marker, then knit 6, then place a marker. And then you're going to increase at the beginning and the end of each marker. And then you're going to do that. Now, this pattern that I have, it was a little chart is included, and you can put a check mark, or you could just take a piece of paper and count the rows. I do believe that it's helpful to count the rows, because you are going to do a purl stitch for every 8th row. And it helps to have it marked down because sometimes you wonder, is that the 8th row? Is it the 7th row? Which row am I on? So it is nice to be able to mark that down. So when you print this out, it will all be included in there. Then when you get to the end of this routine, you're going to have the front of the sweater, you're going to have sleeves, and then you're going to have two sides to the back. And you're going to take the sleeve part off and you're going to put that onto a piece of yarn. And I usually tie it in a knot. And then you knit the rest of the sweater. Okay, so right now I am at the part where I'm going to add my stitch markers. I have some stitch markers in my trusty little case here, and I need 4. So 1, 2, 3. One thing I found to be really good for stitch markers is those little tiny elastics. You can get them at the dollar store. Those work really well too. Just a little tiny elastic. You can also make stitch markers by getting a different color yarn and make a little loop and tie it in a knot. That can also be a stitch marker. And some people who knit a lot have some fancy stitch markers that are really fun to use. I don't really have any fancy ones. I just have these. So I'm going to go back to the body side. Okay, so I'm going to knit 7, place a marker. It says knit 7, increase in the next stitch. Okay, so I'm going to knit 7, then I'm going to increase. Now increasing, I'm just going to knit in the front and the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it says I'm going to increase in the 8th stitch, so front and back. Then I'm going to place a marker. Put that right on, and then I'm going to knit in the front and the back again. So that's going to be the beginning of my first sleeve, okay? Then I'm going to knit 6, okay? So it says place marker, increase in the next stitch, then knit 6, increase in the next stitch, place marker. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to knit 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to increase in the next stitch, place my marker, increase in the next stitch. So that's going to be the start of the first sleeve. Now I'm going to knit the front of the sweater. According to this, that is going to be 20 stitches. Now, if I come out with, and I don't have the right amount of stitches, you can figure it out by just, making sure you have the same amount on each side for the sleeves. And you can kind of, play with the loops if you need to. I mean, technically it's better to do it perfectly, but it's okay if you're like one stitch off, you can fix it. You can kind of add or subtract a stitch if you need to. Okay. So I have, and be careful not to split a stitch. That's really important. And just make sure you have the same amount of stitches. Check every row to make sure your stitches are done well. And so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So according to this, I would be adding a stitch, place a marker. Okay, then I'm going to count how many I have left. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I would do 2, 4, 6, and 2, 4, 6. Okay, so I'm going to make a stitch. I think I have just the right number. All right, so this is going to be the start of the second sleeve. And then 5, 6. And then you're going to make one. Sometimes I have to recount. You're going to place a marker. Then you're going to make another one. And make sure that it's symmetrical. You have the same number on each side. It works out perfectly. That doesn't always happen. I've done this a few times, and that's why I feel like I'm ready to make this video. So if you're new, please post a question. If you have a question, if you have any trouble, let me know. But this is what it's going to look like when you're starting the top of the sweater. Very fun. This is really fun. Okay, and so you're going to increase stitches as you go along. And then when you get done with, as the pattern says, you're going to have 150 stitches on the cable. So you might need to add a piece. This is where the Denise needles come in. They're kind of nice that you can add an extension piece if you need to, or you can just scrunch them up. And I think it's going to be about 24 rows according to this plan. So I'm going to work on that, and every time I get to the stitch marker, I'm going to increase before and after. And then I will come back to make another video when I get to the part where I'm going to separate the sleeves. Very fun. Thanks for watching, and I hope that I get to see people who will watch these videos and let me know that you made one of these sweaters and that this video was a help to you. If it was a help to you, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future videos such as this. Thank you for watching, and be out on the lookout for the next video for the next part of this sweater. I am actually doing this in live time. So I'm actually doing this and making the videos while I'm making a sweater. And I do have some pictures. I will put up some pictures of the different stages of the sweater so you can see them. So stay tuned to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.